Welcome back to Booze, Bros, and Cars, your favorite podcast about booze and cars. And we're your hosts. I'm Eric.
Mike.
And I'm Nick.
All right. So thanks, Nick, for letting us borrow your house for today's podcast.
So welcome to my disaster.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I got the kids out of the house to make this a little bit more manageable.
Yeah. Nice backdrop of all of the
Plenty of nice
alcohol.
selection of things to drink behind us if we get thirsty. So
Yeah, and I just realized that the penis bottle is
Yes,
on the
that's the wife's penis rosé bottle.
That's Nick's
Wife's.
favorite.
Wife's.
Nick's favorite.
Yeah, and you see where that fits. It fits right there. It fits right there.
Nice.
Yeah,
number two in-person podcast. So we're gonna try to keep rolling with some of these for you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, gonna filter back in probably some of the the virtual ones where we're sitting in front of our laptops whenever we need to. But
Yeah.
hoping to do more in person than virtual because it's just more fun hanging out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Better vibe. More shenanigans.
Oh yeah. We're always down for
Potential to throw a
shenanigans.
glass to somebody's head. I mean, it always makes for a good
you know.
time.
Okay, well, first off, we can't throw
Oh, yeah.
these to somebody's head.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
true.
you guys haven't noticed, so this actually has our logo, our updated logo. Thanks again, Lindsay. Nick actually got these. Real cool cups. So
Nick just whipped up some old fashions for us to start off the
did.
podcast today. So
Kinda
I don't know, Nick. What did you put in here?
We kind of half-assed this real quick right here. To try
Want
to
to be
figure
old
out.
fashioned, but
Yeah, Mike
pretty
brought up the
close.
idea of an old fashioned, so we decided to go with the Gentleman Jack base, just because I thought that was better suited than just a normal Jack. And I'm a little low on one of my bourbons that I usually use as a base, my Woodford. And then we decided to flavor it up. So we have a Old Smoky Tennessee Mango Habanero whiskey, and I just so happen to have a Habanero Shrub Bitter as well. So it just kind of all fell together that way, and. I mean, actually, it's there is a little heat to
It's
it.
got
and
some heat
It's
to
got
it,
a tiny bit
yeah.
of heat in the back of the throat. It's got a little sweetness. There's no simple syrup added, no fruits added, anything along those lines.
it's really good.
I was gonna say, for that little bit of heat, it's kind of smooth and goes down easy.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Come on.
And then also for later on while we're recording the podcast, we also have a mead that we're going to be drinking. We have a bottle of Flor de Caña. I actually made a couple of old fashioned with this, but we might drink this straight because it's still really good.
We can figure something out.
Yeah. And then we got a bottle of Maker's Mark just to be on the safe side because you can never have
You
enough
never know.
alcohol.
You
Can never have
never know
enough
what we're gonna
booze.
get into.
And if we get really bored, well, there's a keg right behind Eric here, and another selection of plethora of liquors from gins to bourbons to vodkas, tequilas, absinthe back there. So
Yeah.
I know how to get in trouble if I need to. So
Might get a little spicy here today.
habanero away.
Starting off spicy.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. But yeah, no, man. But
So you were just in Miami yesterday. So
I
you've got some things to talk
Doing
about.
some classy hood rat shit, really.
Yeah.
well, actually,
I wouldn't even consider that hood rat shit. That is
Oh, that's right. According to you guys, Naples is
Bougie.
the hood compared to this.
well,
Dude,
you
yeah.
know, I'll dive into that.
I mean, based on those cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
actually, I wasn't just in Miami yesterday. I was in Miami this morning too. So
well, yeah,
I,
that's true. That's
right
true.
before the podcast, I literally just got home, dumped all my crap into my house, grabbed all of our podcast equipment, came here to Nick's house. I'm exhausted.
Eric's dealing with that alligator alley lag.
Actually, I drove up 27 because it's faster for me.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
that's
that makes
true.
sense.
Yeah.
That direction.
So would they hop off like around Snake Road or something, or Ave Maria?
La
Yeah.
Belle.
LaBelle?
La Belle, yeah.
LaBelle, yeah.
Oh, all the way up.
Yeah, from
Ah,
like literally
okay.
27 all the way up,
Got
and
ya.
it's 27 to 80, State Road
Nice.
80. So that's the quickest way for me. It's going to Orlando and to Miami. That's the only route that I go, and actually to Sebring too. It's the quickest way for me.
There you go.
But yes, so I was in Miami for probably by far one of the best events I've ever gone to.
That's
and it
fair,
was-
juding by the pictures.
Yeah.
you know.
Dude, and it was I actually did a vlog and that should be going up within the next couple of days or so. I have to edit a couple things, but it's gonna be going up live, so look out for that. But it's the Miami Concours, and oh my god, dude, So and the crazy thing is that I was at Cars on Fifth a couple weeks ago, and Cars on Fifth is fun. They have some really, really pretty cars, really beautiful cars there, but they have so many and the crowd there is obnoxious. Like literally, you can barely like. You guys remember like we went there years ago.
Because like 2 years ago, because I was with the bank and I was able to be off on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think you had your kids, I had my kids. Carmelo, who's not with us today, I'm pretty sure he was there with his kid. Like, so we had strollers and shit. It was chaos.
And it's still
and you're paying $40 to walk down public streets.
Yeah,
I know
that
one of
dude.
your
I'm
things
not gonna
this
lie to
year.
you.
It's just-
That was a complete turnoff for me this
Yeah.
year, and I obviously didn't make it to either of these events. I had to work all day yesterday, unfortunately. But yeah, for Cars on Fifth, it's a great event here locally for us. It's right down the road. But $40 a head, man. I mean, that's a little excessive just to walk down Fifth Avenue. I mean,
And
you don't
even
get anything out of it.
I mean, you
get a wristband.
And if it's you and a spouse, you're $80. If your kids are a little bit older, it's another like $10 a head or something like that.
nuts,
I mean, you could be a family of four, could be $100 if you got 2 kids, 2 adults.
Yeah.
And then on top
Absolutely.
of that, you're spending Naples money for ice cream for the kids, for lunch if you want food.
Oh, yeah.
So you're paying to get in here, and then you have to pay to get on the street just to patronize the businesses that are there as well. While you're
family
there.
of 4, it's probably at least a $200 day, and that's on the low
I would say,
end. That's on the
honestly,
low end.
it's probably gonna be like way above that because I bought. I mean, it's Florida. It's stupid hot, and I bought one beer, and it was like $15 for a 12-ounce can of beer.
And probably not even a good one.
It was actually pretty decent. It was, I think it was a Goose Island IPA.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
$15 would hurt me, but at least it's a quality beer.
Yeah, exactly. So
it wasn't like a Bud Light or something.
Yeah. It was really $15 though.
Dude, yeah, it was like $15.
Oh, that is bananas.
Yeah, and it was right.
Absolutely not.
I think don't quote me on this. Like I know Fifth Avenue, but I don't know the businesses that are like where each business is located. I think don't quote me on this. It was at the entrance of the Inn on Fifth.
Well, they actually had for that particular event. Not to I know we segued a little bit here, but that particular event, I'm pretty sure they have beer available for the concourse, if you will, for the walk down Fifth Ave.
Oh,
So there's like all the restaurants are selling, but then they also have a sponsor, which I might know the company that provides the beer for it. So you probably bought from like one of the beer stands that were there.
Yes.
But it does go to a good cause. There is a nonprofit tied in for it, but yes, just
It's
expensive.
yeah.
So
for sure.
back to the Miami Concourse. You told me that is free admission.
It is free admission, and here's the cool thing about it. And I saw this somewhere, and I realized it when I was physically there. DuPont Registry helps organize this.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense
that
based
makes
on some of the
sense
cars
for
that
the
I've seen
cars,
there.
yeah.
Dude,
Exactly.
oh my god, like it's, and so what they do, if you guys kind of will see the vlog later on when it's uploaded, what they do is that they actually red carpet the street for the cars.
I noticed
Saw
that
it
from
in the
the
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they red carpet everything, like literally from one end of the street to the other.
It sounds like some real Miami shit.
Dude, it's so. and let me take
It's
a
not
couple
purple.
steps. Yeah, it's not
Purple carpet would
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it. Purple and like bright blue or something.
But let me take a couple steps back. So where the event is held at it's considered the Miami Design District, or
Is that where the
Design
Porsche Design Tower is too? Is it in that area?
It
is
might
it
be.
like by Wynwood? No, that's
it's-
arts.
no,
That's
actually,
the arts district. I'm
it's
sorry.
northeast of Wynwood.
Okay.
So I
All right.
actually when the day of the event, which was yesterday, Saturday, so they had to move the event. Which there was when they posted that they were going to move the event from Sunday to Saturday, there was a bunch of salty ass people that were posting like, "How can you guys move the event?" Blah 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 blah. You said that rain
it's
or
also
shine.
raining all day today.
Yeah.
So
It is.
We kept the
Makes
windows
sense.
closed, but it's miserable out there
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Typical Florida summer in the middle of winter. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I actually posted, and it's funny because Miami Concourse themselves actually liked my post, and I was like, "Well, thank you guys for still holding the event first off."
Right.
And
Yeah, they could have
two,
easily just
It could have
canceled
been
it.
so
they
much
could have.
worse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
two, I was like, ignore all these like whiny ass babies saying like it's these self-entitled
Salty
assholes
bitches.
because they're pretty much complaining that they can't see a car show when it's not their car that's out on display. Like
Right.
all of these cars, they're all either one private cars or two they're owned by dealerships.
Right.
They're not gonna risk their cars to hold the event on a Sunday when it's really bad, rainy, crappy weather
Yeah.
and something falling on
Well,
one of
that's
the
like,
cars.
they talk about all the time. Like, if I had the money to go drop on, a nice Porsche 911 or something, regardless of being like a GT3 or anything like that, like, yeah, if I want to drive, I'm going to drive it every chance I can get in the rain. But if I'm driving a friggin' Regera, a Koenigsegg, or a Pagani Huayra, I'm not driving that in the rain. Like, if I spent $2 million on it.
Have you seen the videos
Plus
of
$1 million.
YouTubers with their Ferraris and their Pagannis out in the snow, just like
So
driving?
I'm a heathen.
I
but even
love it.
I
love it.
have a limit on what I will put a
Yeah.
car. And I'm a big believer in buying an exotic supercar and actually driving it. But there's a limit to the depravity that I will put that car through, even me. And
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do not only that, right? People might not want to take their $1 million car out
Yeah.
in the rain. That's definitely a good reason why not to do it. But also, you're just not going to get a crowd. I mean, if it's pouring rain,
Well,
there's
that
no
too.
event to have.
Right.
A lot of
Exactly.
it's outdoors. It's just not going to be impactful. But to your point, they could have just canceled it. They could have
could've.
easily just said, "Sorry, the weather looks terrible. We're
I
not
think
doing
it's
it."
impressive as shit that they scrambled and got it
Oh,
moved the day ahead.
I
got the city
guarantee-
on board and all the things on, and got
Permits
it
got
done.
moved.
in a
They
short
got
period
all
of time too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a
Absolutely.
week. They had like a week and they
No,
figured
it's-
this shit out.
that's impressive.
So that's
Yeah.
impressive as hell.
Good for them.
For an event
Wow.
like that.
Yeah, so it pretty much was, and it was by far, like I said, it's one of the best events that I've ever gone to because of the quality of the cars. And you actually mentioned a couple of them. You actually said Pagani, so there was so many
God.
Paganis that were there, and I'm a huge fan of Koenigsegg. They're probably by far one of my favorite cars. Ghost, was it Ghost Squad? Hell yeah, that's what their nickname.
So I mean, some of the pictures you were posting and some of the pictures the event was posting, I was showing my wife last night, and she's a car person, but doesn't follow as much as us. Like she's the one that dictated our next toy has to be a manual, has to be rear wheel drive, like all these kind of things. Like she does appreciate a good performance car and a proper transmission, but like if you put a Pagani and a Koenigsegg next to each other and hide the badges, I mean she wouldn't know. When you're talking about these $2 million
Yeah.
cars, she wouldn't pick those out. Now Porsche versus Audi, Lambo, yeah, like you know what I mean. We're talking about these true hypercars. She couldn't pick those out, so. But I was showing her pictures last night, and even she was like, holy shit, like these are some of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. She had asked me what a couple of the makes were.
Yeah.
But she was just like going through the pictures, and she was like, Jesus, like these are freaking gorgeous. Like,
Bro,
like
yeah.
even one she picked out, it was a Pagani that was like green with like the gold accents, and she was like, that's you, babe. Like I'm like, I know, that's
the green with the blue accent. Oh,
No,
Just gotta
gold.
get
Green with
rich
green with
first.
Gold accents.
The
It
green
was
with
one
the
of the
gold.
Paganis.
Was
yeah.
it there? I don't think I saw that one
No,
there.
somebody posted. If it wasn't you, it was the actual Miami Concours.
Or maybe it was the
there was
blue
a
one
line
with the
of
gold.
Paganis running all the way down,
Oh.
and it was like in the middle of them.
Okay, I know what picture you're talking about. So that
Oh,
wasn't this year. That was last year.
You're right. It was last year.
was last year's
I was looking at
picture.
the old pictures yesterday.
Yeah.
Showing her some stuff, and it was just like,
Yeah.
I know this event's been going on now since like 18, I think, and it just seems I was scrolling through their Instagram, and it just every year it just seems bigger. Every year it seems better.
It's crazy.
And I mean that's the goal for any of these things, right?
Until
you hit that max capacity. That's the goal. Grow every year. I mean that should be the goal for anything, for business, for our little podcast. That's the goal. Grow every year. I don't know. It impresses me what they put together. It's a shame that I could not go this year, even if I planned on going today and then I got moved that I wouldn't be able to go. But I am 100% next year going to make sure I am available.
Dude,
And
we're going to have a blast.
Hopefully, I won't be working a beer festival.
Well,
like
and
I
so
was
here's what I was telling
yesterday.
Eric earlier too, right? I'm talking about this. I was like, dude, I'm gonna make sure I'm available for that. And next year, I also want to do the Concours d'Elegance at Amelia Island because
Oh, dude,
for
yeah.
years I've been wanting to go
Oh,
to that.
that is like the bougie.
Well, and so ever since I was a kid, I've been watching Chasing Classic Cars with
Yeah.
Wayne Careem,
Oh, yeah.
and I want to meet
Oh, yeah.
this guy in the worst way because it just seems like a
Yeah.
cool old dude that I just want to meet, and I
all his
appreciate that old
garage
school stuff.
find,
all the OG man, the
refabs he does.
Duesenbergs, he gets his hands, all that kind of shit. But so that's the goal for next year. For us and stuff like that, I'd love for us to go to the Amelia, to see the Concours d'Elegance for the weekend, like up in Jacksonville on Amelia Island and whatnot. I want to take the weekend and do the Miami thing and do this. And frankly, if I don't go to Cars on 5th in Naples, I won't be upset.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude.
that's a tough one for me to get.
It's a
multiple
bummer, man.
Saturdays off.
It
It's just
is
kinda-
also a very good event, but like just comparing the two, like I'm sure Eric is gonna put some photos of the Miami Concours on there.
I will, yes.
The quality, there is definitely a quantity of cars for Naples Cars on 5th. The quality of cars for the Miami Concours event is just leaps and bounds different.
Oh, yeah.
Every car is just bespoke, phenomenal, like probably triple the cost of everything sitting at the Naples
Yeah,
And
Cars
that's
on
the thing
5th.
with Naples.
And
We've talked about it. Like you go into there, and most of the crazy exclusive cars are owned by Gulf Motorsports,
Yeah,
Naples
yeah.
Motorsports.
They've yet
Yeah.
to be sold yet.
So
but-
or their private collections and their private warehouses. Like that's where the crazy stuff. Now, is it impressive that the Collier County Naples Club produces 140 plus cars that come out?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
at the end of the
it's
day,
great.
we talk about this. They're cookie cutter Ferraris, and
They are.
It
It's
sounds
Ferraris,
crazy
it's 911s.
to criticize that
Yes.
because none of us own a Ferrari.
No, absolutely.
But-
They are still, you
Yeah.
know, sub $500,000 cars.
Yeah.
But when you
yeah.
take $500,000 cars and then you have $1 to $1.5 to $3 million cars,
Dude,
that
and
is a
more than that.
big difference.
And that's just it. When I look at the pictures that you took, and I look at the pictures at both events. You were at both
Yeah.
events, and I look at the pictures that you took at both events, and I'm like, man, that Naples
Yeah, just comparing.
looking pretty good. And then all of a sudden, you post your Miami Concours, and I'm like, holy shit, you're Naples. I'm going to Miami next
Well,
year. Like,
Naples
yeah.
is
you know,
rich, but it ain't Miami rich. That's like international rich versus like
and
Florida
that's
rich.
what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, you got
So,
you know,
no
Abu
offense
Dhabi,
to-
Saudi
no offense to my
Arabian
Naples
money,
people
you
that
know,
are
those
watching this,
crazy,
but-
some of that Cuban money. I mean, you got
Yeah, that's
crazy
international
money
money.
over there. Where
Oh,
over
yeah.
here, you've got a lot of those, you know, some middle aged, some older, the retirees, tech company people.
When you gotta look, yeah, I mean, you gotta look too. Some of these people travel for these events, but you also have to look at
Yeah.
the, you know, like per capita, how many millionaires / billionaires are there in Miami versus how many there are in Naples?
Yeah. Well, that was
Yeah, that's true.
Like the one thing I asked
know what I
earlier
mean?
was based on the area. Like, you know, I talked about because, you know, I don't know if people know this, but in Miami, in that I think it's that South Beach area, there is I think it's the Porsche Design Studio building or something like that. And there's literally apartments that are it's an entire tower Porsche design. I mean, look it up. They're incredibly expensive from what I remember. It's not like you have to own a Porsche or anything to live there, but it's a very exclusive little tower.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if Porsches decided to have their own specialty tower there for people to have apartments and condos in, that gives you the kind of idea of what kind of money's there.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
floating around. I mean, you see this tower. It's a beautiful tower. This giant horseshoe ramp that goes up, and I believe there's elevators that take the cars to the level in which the apartments are on. Don't quote me on that, but that's something somebody was telling me about the other day, and that I didn't realize, and I don't know if it's true. but if it is,
That's like an amount of rich that I aspire to be one day. When your
Yeah.
car can go up to
Yeah.
your whatever level
It's
your
like that
condo is
Australian
on.
guy that put was that one of the McLarens or something like that? His
yeah.
race car in his
Yep.
apartment, like redid the apartment.
Had
moved the
a
windows
crane
out.
actually bring in and put it inside
removed
of
the window
his,
to put it inside while they renovated the apartment and then sealed it in.
Wasn't that
Insane.
in New York?
There was one in New York, yeah,
It might have
and
been
I
New
believe
York,
there
but
was
it's-
somebody in like
Yeah,
Abu
it
Dhabi
was-
or something.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
it was an Australian or New Zealand businessman.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
I can't remember which city it was in, but I think it was in.
Yeah, because that was the McLaren GTR.
Yeah.
The Senna GTR.
Yes, it was definitely the Senna. I remember that
Yeah.
much, but
Well, actually, okay, so kind of going back to the Miami Concours. So I do want to add one quick note, kind of comparing cars on Fifth and the Miami Concours. If they're both on the exact same weekend, I would rather drive 2 hours to go to the Concours than drive 45 minutes to a local event.
oh yeah, I mean based on the
That
pictures alone, yeah.
that should tell you like how that event actually
Yeah.
was, like
Yeah.
because it was just. And here's the crazy thing.
And it'll save you
because
$40
it,
on top of everything else.
Yeah, I mean the way
40
I drive my Explorer,
$40
I'll
entry
pay-
fee.
Gas aside,
you know, yeah.
gas aside.
$40 entry fee, but you're paying like $120 in gas, $160
Yeah.
gas,
I mean,
in
it's-
gas, something around there. Anyways, but here's the thing, like that event just kept surprising me as I kept walking because on the main drive, like where all of the Pagani's were, which I counted the Pagani's on that road, and there was maybe 11 on that road.
So there's 22 million at least sitting right there.
Probably more than that,
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. At least they're each.
They're $3+ million cars.
So I think that gets 35-ish plus $1 million.
Yeah.
sitting right there.
It's insane.
Like
Absolutely
out of
insane.
11 cars. I mean, when you
Yeah.
you think about that, like that's just nuts. As they're sitting there on red carpets on pavement.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
it-
production value alone to this event compared to others, in probably in the country for that.
No,
matter,
for sure.
is impeccable.
For sure. And then, and the crazy thing is that, so you kept walking up the block and then, or like down the street and because there's like a block that kind of like separates both of them. And like you kept walking and there was 8 Bugattis there. 8. There was the one EB 110.
Which
The
is beautiful.
one,
I mean, you never see those. around,
I
ever.
know. And then the one Bugatti Diva, which I fell in love with that thing.
Dude,
Like,
that
I-
car is so cool.
Oh my God.
that
dude,
car
it's
is so cool.
gorgeous.
crazy.
And they have
Like,
got to be so insane to drive.
I am
Absolutely
not
insane.
the biggest Bugatti fan. This right away like Bugatti. Oh my god! Like as far as
It's a
like,
status symbol.
It really
is.
is. Like when you look at it, like I'd rather a Lambo. Hell, I'd rather an
Top
Audi
G
at the
status.
time than one of
Top
them.
G status.
Yeah. But,
Sorry, I had to make that reference.
But there's something though when you see like an OG EB.
No,
Like now,
it's cool.
I will
It's
admit,
striking.
to me, one of my favorite cars of all time, and what I think is one of the most beautiful cars of all time, is the Bugatti Atlantic. It's a Bugatti Type 57 Atlantic Coupe, I believe.
You're talking about that really old one, like
It's
from
from
like
37.
Yeah.
It's a 1937. It's one of the most beautiful cars that I think has ever been created. My particular favorite that's even still in existence is just all black for the most part. It's actually owned by Ralph Lauren. That's where I first ever saw one. Was chasing classic cars. I think they had one.
Yeah.
And like that to me is just the ultimate Bugatti.
Yeah.
But I think the EB 110 is cooler because it was kind of the resurgence of Bugatti.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah, it
these
kinda
modern ones are just outrageously expensive, heavy, high horsepower Grand Tours that are capable of 300 miles per hour, sure. But at that point, at that price point, I'd rather the Koenigsegg, I'd rather this or that. You know, these cars that I think could actually hook around the track and do some crazy shit too. Like Bugatti to me just seems like I want luxury, I want power, I'm going to go with a 7 Series, I'm going to go with an S8, I'm going to go with something like that. It just seems
In my mind,
I don't know why. There's something about the design to it that just kind of. Bleh.
well, they're kind of bubbly.
Again, I don't have a
it's
Bugatti. I
very
can't
bubbly.
afford a Bugatti.
And I'm not gonna lie,
shit,
like
but-
you know, the Chiron when it came out, like it took the Veyron.
Yeah.
And it kind of took care of some of those angles that just didn't look very good on the
Yeah,
Veyron.
yeah.
It kind of chiseled it, kind of morphed it into something a little bit better looking.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that Diva
Yeah.
is just like a whole nother level.
That's that kind of speedster looking you want, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
kind
Crazy
of,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
But it's got a lot more arrow on
my
it.
thing
but
was Bugatti basically answered the question of how do we shove a shit ton of power into a relatively lightweight car?
well, yeah.
Like they answered that question, and then I just think others have now done it better. Koenigsegg being a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking
Pagani.
hypothetically because I'll never own any of these cars, but I agree with you. There are others that are
I can
in my
afford like
mind.
a Hot Wheels version.
Yeah, right. Or maybe a remote control. one, yeah.
Actually licensed version, you know?
right.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you. I mean, there's
this. I'll probably get hate for this, but to me, Bugatti's kind of a novelty idea.
well, it is, and
I don't
in my
disagree.
mind,
I don't disagree.
In my mind, the way I think about vehicles is I would have already had to have had 10 or 15 supercars. I would have to have that level of money before I would finally be like, you know what?
Absolutely.
It's time to get a Bugatti just
absolutely.
to, just to showboat a little bit, you
Yeah.
know?
Like,
but
well,
there are lots of other things that I would like to
Yeah.
have lined up well before
Oddly
this.
enough, one of the something noir editions popped up, and like I have a soft spot for that because it's just all black.
Oh well,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Like, that's just-
Who ended up being the owner of that
Wasn't
one?
it like a Messi or somebody?
Christian
somebody-
Ronaldo, I think it was.
This was a
It was like
Bugatti?
it was like a
Yeah.
it was like a something noir.
It's a
I forget
replica of the car that
exact
he
name.
was talking about.
Yeah, they
okay.
basically did it with like the kind of they make it look like the fin from the Type 57.
Yeah.
and just most of them were black or dark blue. Like so.
So it's a
The
Batmobile.
Noirs,
Yes.
basically, it is the billionaire's
Batmobile.
Batmobile. It's literally what it is.
Yeah.
If Bruce Wayne were real, he would drive this particular Bugatti, whatever it is, Noir edition. Like that is the car Bruce Wayne would drive in the real world.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so.
It is, and that's one of those like ones for me. Like I like things that are either green or murdered out. Like those are my two kind of things. Even though I drive a white Explorer right now, but
That's besides the point.
yeah. But my last personal car was black. I take that back. 2 cars ago was black.
Yeah, I was like, where? No, you're wrong.
I'm losing track. Car
You're wrong.
The G70 was great,
I'm losing.
sir.
I'm losing. It was the greatest. It was the greatest ever. No, fake news. Fake news. Anyway, yeah. So
Shout out to Hyundai.
yeah, my A6 was blacked out. But yeah, no, it's that Noir edition is one that kind of does a little something for me. Yeah, we need to get rid of that.
notice the
I'll
water
dump the ice.
pictures.
Yeah, I kept it ready.
Okay.
Just leave this back here. But yeah, no, those. So
I filled
Yeah.
the water too, by the way.
the what?
It's not that water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's decent water.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, no, the Devo definitely was very gorgeous. I don't disagree with what you're saying in regards to Bugatti being novelty, but
And if Bugatti has a problem with what I'm saying, let me drive one. Just saying.
yeah, let us
I've
experience the
never,
true
Yeah,
horsepower.
we'll do a review
I've never
on
hit
it.
a guardrail unlike somebody else on this.
Bro, that was one
Podcast.
time.
In a front wheel drive car.
was one time.
nonetheless.
One time's all it takes. I mean, I may have destroyed the back end of a Acura TLX in my Hummer once. But that's besides the point. I was 17.
You seem like you would drive a Hummer like
17.
that. I'm not gonna
All
lie.
right,
Is it because of the brakes?
He did
You
drive a
didn't
Hummer.
use the brakes. Is that what it was?
No,
I think we need to dive into
used
this.
them, but it
Nick
was too late.
notoriously does not like
late.
using brakes. I think if cars didn't have them, he would probably be a happier person.
Potentially, but no. On that one, I was stopping to go traffic. I was leaving the Camden Aquarium. I was on the highway on 76 in Jersey. Car in front of me just jammed their brakes. I was a little too close to them. I'll admit, I was 17, and trying to stop a 2+ ton truck. Just didn't work out as quickly as I was expecting.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
So boom, the people were incredibly gracious, or not gracious, but incredibly cool about it. Because they were on their way to the Jersey Shore to get shit-faced anyway. So they basically said, hey, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. They pleaded with the police to not give me a ticket, which she ultimately did because they too had a 17 or 18-year-old son and were like, they could tell I was freaked out about the whole thing. But thankfully my parents got over it. I kept driving the Hummer for a few more years, and it was a great truck. That was, yeah. That was one of the last cars that was not mine. And then I went down my road of overly priced electrical nightmare cars after that, but that's also besides the point.
Yeah. Back on topic.
Yes.
Whoops.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's good. It's a 10-year-old age bottle. As far as I can see, you can't buy that here.
Dude, I'm not a rum guy, but that is fucking smooth.
Yeah, that's really good.
That is real smooth, and I am not a rum person.
Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, it
mellow.
resembles rum.
Yeah, but the way,
I don't
the
know.
way
It's
aged,
got
man.
a
it's-
smoky
it-
kind of.
it's-
It almost reminds me of Scotch.
bourbon barrel
Well,
aged.
yeah, there you
Bourbon
go.
barrel, yeah. Well,
It's got the smoky characteristics
Yeah.
from like being aged in oak.
So I'm sure.
But like,
it's in
dude,
a
I'm
bourbon
honestly
oak.
like
It's
I drink this and
definitely
I
an oak
think
barrel.
more of like almost more of like a Scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Kind of without the peat. Like
It really does. Yeah, that's a very good.
But the thing about that is that it's not your typical type of rum, because that's actually a spice, or it's a sugarcane rum, so it's
Nice.
made a little bit differently. Because Nicaragua, because this is made in the country where my parents are from, Nicaragua. But
Yeah,
by the way,
they bring
if
a
you
bottle.
guys can hear anything in the background, that's Nick's dog drinking water.
my big Bernese Mountain Dog doofus making a bunch of sound.
I thought Nick got really thirsty.
But yeah, so they're known for a few things. One of them is this, and they're known for sugar canes. They're known for coffee, and they're known for cacao. So that's what they specialize in, and actually tobacco.
Have they
I
ever
also
made
have some
a-
cigars tucked away up there from Nicaragua from Eric's parents.
I was gonna ask you if you smoked those yet.
I have not yet.
Oh,
no.
dude, when did
got
that
them.
happen? I didn't know about that.
I mean, I'm just saying when we're done, I've got them.
I think I got you 5?
I got a 5-pack.
You guys,
up there,
you guys
yeah.
are gonna get me in trouble.
That's not my problem. I don't gotta deal with your wife.
That's
well,
fair.
actually, I take that
Yeah, I
back.
was gonna say.
She'll call me or text me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or the next time I see her. Next
Yeah.
game night, she'll definitely let me know. Yeah, I'll be prepared
sure.
for it. I'll be ready for it.
Yeah. But anyways, long story short, hit up the Miami Concours. You guys will not regret it.
Yeah.
There's tons of stuff to do down in Miami anyways. I mean, like the Wynwood is not far away from the Miami Design Center, or the Design District, I should say. And you guys will have a blast. I mean, like there's Wynwood is known for being like the art center, but
Yeah.
there's a ton of really good food there.
A lot of phenomenal breweries in Wynwood as well.
Yeah.
So there's really, really good beer, really good food.
Yeah.
So you went to Tripping Animals while you were out there too, right?
I did go to Tripping Animals when I was there, but Tripping Animals is farther away from Wynwood. It's more
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah, that's
north.
I almost went when I was there in North Miami, and then instead
Yeah.
we went to Invasive Animals or
Invasive Species.
That's what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
which
Invasive
was also
They have really good beer too.
that was a really good brewery to
Yeah.
go to,
They've
man.
got-
it was a cool
they've
place.
got wild beer.
A bunch of taxidermy stuff on the wall. It was a really cool place, and
Yeah.
it was such a small place. You were really just a curtain separating you from all the brew tanks and everything. Like,
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
it's kind
it's
of a cool
pretty
vibe,
small.
little hole in the wall place, but very
Yeah.
cool. There's
But
a lot of shit out there. A lot of culture, a lot of beer stuff, a lot
Right.
of distilleries, I mean, there's just a lot out there.
yeah, there is, or there is, there is. Yeah. Anyways,
Them's is.
yeah, them is. Say hi to the camera, buddy.
What are
For
you
anybody
doing,
that hasn't
Griff?
seen them before, when we're doing the from our computers, this is Gryffindor, our Bernese Mountain Dog pup. He
Yes.
is a rotten asshole. But
He's
we
cute,
love him.
though.
He is cute. He's cute. The cuteness makes up for the lack of brain.
Is that just a Bernese Mountain Dog thing?
Well, so I swore there was no way from our last one to this one we could get a dumber one. And now when Sully...
Sully was awesome.
He
was a doofus, though, too.
He was.
I mean,
when
really
he was born, he was the one puppy boy that came out not breathing, and my wife was one of the techs on location. They adjusted him. They got him going. That's how we ended up with that one. So I always blamed his goofiness on oxygen deprivation from when he was a puppy. That's when he was born. Whether that was true or not, that's what I always blamed it on. I was like, there's just no way. Like, he was just a lovable dog, but he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Which a lot of burners were kind of aloof. And then we get that one as he walks away, and he is just not a whole lot going on up there. I mean, he is even more cuddly than my last one. Great dog, tolerant of the kids, but there's not a whole lot of wires connected up there.
Yeah.
But he's big, goofy, and lovable, and like the appearance. Hi, buddy.
That's what matters.
It's like error 404 is constantly just spinning in his head.
It's one of those just too many tabs open. It can't compute. That's what's going on in his head.
That's great.
And he's a little slow right now because I may have given him a trazodone to kind of dope him up for the afternoon. To keep him from knocking over our tripod. Like that.
I was gonna say
I slowed him down a little bit.
That'll happen.
He seems a lot more chill than what he usually is.
Yeah.
No, he's much more chill.
He's a good dog.
He's just needy and has separation anxiety problems.
Yeah.
All right, so Eric, I got some questions since we're still on the Miami Concours. Sure. What if you had to pick? You saw a lot of badass cars.
Yeah.
If you had to pick your top 3, what would they be? And obviously, you can link the photos for your top 3 into the podcast when you're in edit. But like, what would be your top 3? Because I remember just thumbing through some of the photos that you took and like.
I know that's
a hard question, but we're putting you on the spot.
It is, man. So I'm gonna say, so the one, and I think I posted it on the Booze Bros and Cars social media pages, which is the blue and gold Pagani that was there. I don't know if that was a Huayra R. Huayra R Evo. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I don't think they put designations on them like normal car manufacturers at that price level.
Just call it whatever you want to call it.
It's hard to tell.
It's a Pagani.
When I look at
a Pagani.
Give it whatever title you want. It's
like because you had the Pagani Zonda back in the day, and then you had the Huayra was the next one.
Yeah, and then they had the Utopia is another one.
Okay, so I've lost track of them, and to me there's such minimal differences that it's hard for me to tell. That's the equivalent of my wife looking at any Audi modern and not knowing which model it is because they all generally have the exact same look, just slightly longer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the equivalent for me.
Much. I'm not gonna lie. I am not a Zonda Pagani, and like I'm not a Pagani aficionado. I couldn't tell you which one is.
I'm not an aficionado either, but
I know the old Zonda.
There was an old game on the Xbox that I
Huayra.
used to play on Xbox Live that had the Zonda, and that was the first time I ever knew what Pagani was.
And
since that day, that is forever probably going to be one of
there
the...
was
that
5
is-
exhaust
that is a-
tips.
that is
Four.
Is it 4 or is it 5?
It's like that
I thought they had a
four
center.
thing.
I thought they had a center exit one as well.
That will forever be the one for me that is always like almost like a bedroom poster worthy.
Yeah.
The Zonda.
And it still is.
And
It's
that
just,
Prince Rupert's drop mirror shape that they have, like on every
just-
single car, that like super thin little wispy
it's-
hair, like it's crazy.
Really crazy now that you're talking about the Zonda and that
Yeah.
they don't really name the cars or put the name of the cars on them. There was one Pagani Zonda that was there that had the Zonda name on it, but it was on the license plate and it said Zonda MD, so I'm pretty sure it's a medical doctor that owned that.
Nice.
In Miami,
possibly.
Plastic surgery.
Yes,
I went the same way you did.
Yes.
It's probably one of the guys I follow.
Boob job.
or lip injections.
BBLs.
That's what that guy's doing.
BBLs.
Oh, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
BBLs.
The
Anyways.
whole mommy makeover thing is 100% that's who that is.
So that Pagani is the top on my list because and the reason for it is because when I got there, I was there with my cousin Jonathan. So shout out to Jonathan. We had a great time there. And dude, like he was just like mind blown with the cars too. That was there.
I bet.
Because he has like the last time he went to a car show was like years ago. And it was more like a just normal like street car show, like Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, all that crap. This is like a whole other level, and he was just so mind blown.
This is a bit different than
going
to your typical thing with
Oh, for sure.
Maximas laying on the ground.
Yeah.
But so
way different.
So this particular Pagani, and there was another one that was parked in front of it, which I think I took pictures of. No, I took pictures only of the blue and gold one because there were so many people crowded around these two Paganis that they were crazy. Like, so when we got there, they were undercover. and they unveiled them sometime throughout the day. And then when we walked by and I saw the rear end of the blue one, I was like, holy shit. And I
You saw that ass, though.
Yeah.
That
I'm an
ass.
ass
Saw
man,
that ass,
dude.
That booty.
I'm an ass man.
Sweet
so
as
what can I
sweetie, I'm
say?
coming for that booty.
Yeah. So that was my favorite one. My second one, I don't. Well, you may have seen it through the pictures that I took, which they will be.
Boy,
I have to.
camera.
I have to edit my pictures later on. But there was a McLaren Senna GTR that was there.
Ooh, I don't remember seeing that picture.
Did I not take pictures of it? I'm pretty sure I took pictures of
I
it.
don't remember seeing that.
I'm pretty sure I took
flicked through
pictures of it.
relatively quick while I was doing some setup stuff here.
It was an orange and blue car.
I think I did see it.
Okay, yeah. I know I took pictures of it. So that was probably my second one. I have to say the last one is tied between two cars, and there's a reason why. So the third one, there was and I was shocked. I was so mind blown that this car was there, but they had two Gunther Works Porsches there.
I saw those.
Yeah.
I saw those.
And one of them was
And the flat black one.
It's not flat black.
It looked flat black in
It's
the photo that
it's exposed carbon.
Oh, see, I need to look.
No,
I was only
know
looking
which
at
one
it
you were
on your
talking
camera.
about. That wasn't a Gunther Works one. I don't
I
think.
thought it was. Oh man, maybe I need to look at those.
No,
pictures.
that was the Gunther Works one.
Because there was one that was
It
definitely like a
looked
satin
flat,
black
yeah.
wrap on there.
No, that was no. It may have been no. Was
Either
that-
way.
Because you took pictures of 3 different in succession, and then one was that
Yeah.
like kind of like Miami or Riviera blue kind of color with a wide body on it and the top.
Right.
up.
Yes.
And then there was one after that you took a picture of that it was like a grayish color. That was 100% a. If we lose our camera here for a second, the doofus is now getting on the couch with the thing. Gryffindor.
Oh wait, hold on.
So dumb.
Oh shit, wait, hold on.
You were brainless.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Pause.
All right, he's down. Absolutely brainless.
I don't. It stopped recording. I don't know when.
Your watch still showed red.
Yeah, it still showed red, but I don't know. It's recording now again.
I keep looking at your watch and it's been red the entire time.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
It's weird. I don't know what happened, but it must
Need
have.
to
Sorry, guys.
chill
We're
out.
figuring out the whole.
You're gonna have to edit that out. But
Video.
So are you sure it's recording? See, this is right.
It's recording now. I don't know. It was weird because like right before he got on there, it was red, right? Because you saw the banner.
Yeah.
We're monitoring this because of the last podcast just to make sure it's still recording.
You
And
can edit all this out, I'm sure.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll leave this part out and
but,
I'll skip it. But anyways, but yeah, but yeah, no, there was a Gunther Works, but no, if it's someone that I'm thinking of, if it was satin black, it may have been dry carbon.
It could have been. Now, granted, I was only
chance.
looking at this on your
Yeah.
DSLR
And
on
from
a
a
screen.
certain
Wait,
angle.
hold on.
So-
Pull up the Instagram or Facebook post for who's posting cars because like I'm pretty certain I can see.
All right,
which one it
let's
is.
Yeah, that
do
was
some-
one of the ones
let's
you
do some
definitely posted up
research.
there, which
Let's
I
do
was
some research here.
when I was looking through, I was kind of shocked by it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So there was that one, and then between that one, which is the coupe,
Yeah,
there
it was this guy. That's the one I'm thinking of, and I don't remember
Was that?
that being carbon.
Okay, so it is a satin black then. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
that one.
I
At
don't-
least that's the one that I
It's a
was.
Gunther
It
Well,
is
that's
a
the one
Gunther.
that I
Okay, it
was
is a
looking at.
Gunther, and it
Yeah.
is
yeah.
perfect.
If
Dude,
there was
that
a
thing
dry
is
carbon one on top of that, then that's
Perfect.
pretty badass. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And
the one
then
that I
this,
was thinking
like,
of when you said
Riviera
that.
or Miami Blue, whatever blue this is. I mean, dude, the Gunther cars that were there were.
Oh yeah, that Gunther one
Oh,
was
that's what you're talking about, right? That baby blue and gold.
that. Yes, that thing was
Yeah.
gorgeous. So it's okay. So that one, I think I said the Devo, right? No.
Diva. Well,
No, the McLaren GTR.
Yeah.
So the Gunther Works, and then they had an actual Michael Schumacher F1 car.
Okay.
I saw that.
Dude, that thing was so badass. Oh, I need to check this.
Now, okay.
So-
So while we're pouring this is homemade, correct?
Shout out to my buddy Richie. I got this bottle from him just as a gift one time. He worked at a prominent bar in our area. Made his own mead.
Damn.
So, yeah, I can't remember what did he call it here. It's Delio's Meadworks Line Share Breakfast, brewed and bottled in Florida. So this is a homebrew blueberry mead.
which we have tried some meads out of my home, and we have failed every single time.
Yes.
For
And that is a
anybody
project that I would
really
love to
need to
get back to,
rekindle.
but we need more space. We got to have space
Well,
for
the
that.
sad thing is, realistically, I think we know what we got to do, and it's going to be your house because the layout of your house gives us some more opportunity.
So good.
So basically, for anybody that's wondering that does any brewing and stuff like that, or that may be interested in it, is yeast is a very fickle organism. And in my home, for the whopping less than 1,700 square feet that I have, it's a great house. However, every room has windows
so good.
in my home,
just hit
and
me right now.
the issue that
It's
we
so
ran
good.
into was keeping every room at all times the correct temperature. Because if it gets too warm, easy to do in Florida in a home with windows in every freaking room, your yeast will die. And you can over-oxygenate, and all of a sudden everything tastes like apples. So that was the issue we kept running into, is we just could never get a good fermentation because we never had the correct climate control. So again, in Florida, this is very difficult without a controlled space. So for this to come out as good as it did is an impressive feat down here.
Another note on this is it's probably about I would say at least 5 to 7 years old. It's got some age to it. I've actually had this. I had it cellar temperatures for the first probably 2-3 years, and then it actually just joined my refrigerator probably about another 3 years after that. I'm sorry, for the last 3 years, but it's phenomenal. It's really, really good.
Like I said, at 12%, we'll call that low. Without being a session mead, that's a little low on the ABV.
it is.
But that is...
It's got a lot of the sweetness that carries through.
Yeah.
It definitely, the blueberry, there was a lot of sediment that settled in it.
Yeah.
And before I opened it a little bit ago, I definitely shook the bottle quite a bit, but it's really good.
No, the blueberry comes through.
phenomenal.
It is
Delicious.
incredibly smooth. It is not boozy at all.
No, it's still very sweet.
It's very apparent that it's honey based, and that's a mead for sure. Like, it definitely separates itself from a wine. Fuck, dude, kudos to your buddy. I mean, that's a solid take on
this is
homebrew
really
mead.
This is really good.
Oh yeah. You know what I just realized right now? We've been pretty much doing beverage recaps as we're drinking.
You know what though?
Well,
that's all right. But this is what happens when we're dabbling in multiple things.
That's true.
But when we're drinking together,
Yes,
it's easier
it's
as
a lot
we're
easier.
kind of
'Cause we're-
timing
yeah.
as we go along.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
kind
and
of nice that way.
we're all going through the same thing.
Right, and then
we're
it
trying
blends
the
it.
same
drinks
products,
and
so.
cars, and we kind of keep alternating rather than
Wow.
'cause booze, bros, and cars.
Yeah.
It should be somewhat equal blend. And I think this is kind of a good format for us. So obviously, anybody that makes it this far into it, let us know what you feel as far as the format and how we should do this. Let us know if you just want us to get shit faced one time and just see how it goes. But
Exactly.
Also,
it's
I
usually most
do
episodes.
want to segue for just a minute.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot on the podcast about how we all kind of got started, together in in kind of our shared interests, Mazda speeds. So it's come up multiple times on the podcast. I actually was just talking to somebody yesterday. I'm going to give out a shout out to my friends Charlotte and Cam.
the Charlotte that we know.
The Charlotte that you know.
Cool.
So.
Hey, have you met her friend Mike?
Yeah.
No,
Have you met my friend Charlotte? Have you met my friend
It
Nick?
depends on who's around.
So Cam, like I said, I had to do a beer fest yesterday. In the beer industry, beer fests are a pretty common thing for us down here in Southwest Florida this time of year. So was working a beer fest yesterday. Shout out to Bonita Brew Fest, phenomenal event. They do it every year. In Old Bonita, it's awesome, great time. Shout out to Cam because he stopped me during the event, during Teardown, kind of at the end of the day, and he was like, "Hey man, by the way, I've been watching all of your podcasts."
Hell yeah!
And he was like, "Dude, it's great." He was like, whether I'm able to watch it or whether I'm just listening and I throw it on in the background, you guys obviously it's entertaining hearing you guys talk." And he was like, "You guys just did your first in-person episode," and he was like, "Dude, you keep doing what you're doing, man. It's great."
Hell yeah!
But funny enough, he was like, I didn't know when you started talking about how your Mazda Speed group got started, he mentioned Mike Massey. And I was like,
shout out to Mike Massey.
And I didn't know this. Cam had a Mazda Speed 3. What? So he was like, I must have just missed you guys and like the timeline of things. But he was like, I knew Mike. I was kind of like in the beginning phases of the Mazda Speed group that we had in the area. And I know you mentioned that you started in because of him. He left a note on your car or whatever. And I was like, dude, I'm like, what the hell? Like, what a small,
Yeah,
what a
small
small
world.
freaking world,
and
man.
what's odd about that is I got into the Mazda Speed group kind of as Massey was on his way out, so I never really knew Massey in that sense.
He was kind of
Me
he
and
was
him
brief.
reconnected because we didn't know this at the time. We were both in the auto industry.
Yeah.
He was in the
Yes.
service side. I was in the sales side. He then switched to sales side. We both, I think, went into management at similar times. Totally different dealerships. They moved to the Orlando area. Well, I have since reconnected with him via his wife because she has one of the fastest Explorer STs in the country. So shout out to Bryn Massey for kind of bringing me back into touch with her husband, Mike Massey, because Bryn has just an absolutely nasty
Monster of a
Explorer ST that I
Mobile.
strive for. I mean, she's got everything I have, plus the injector upgrade, the fuel pump upgrade, and the turbo rebuilds. She's pushing. I think she's damn near 700 of the wheels. Like she's six.
Damn, dude.
I think her last one I think
For a
was
big-ass
640,
SUV.
650 at the wheels.
That's awesome.
And she's running like mid 10-second quarters, fully dressed, third row still installed and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
she's big into. She does a lot of media design and stuff like that, making shirts, stickers,
Right.
stuff like that. That's kind of her thing. She does a lot of logo design. So shout out to Bryn for what she's done for the Explorer ST world and stuff like that, and pushing the envelope. But they also have now, like Mike's got his Raptor tuned up, and he's got a Supra now too.
Yeah, I
that
knew
he's
he had a
done
Supra.
so
Yeah.
Well, and it
so-
just goes to
MK5
show, man, like
Supra,
this.
by the way.
So
MK5,
Mike
Newer.
and then obviously Bryn have been in the car community for a long time.
Yeah,
and it's
they
just
have.
kind of cool to see how things have progressed. But
Yeah.
like just like conversations like that. Like I knew Cam
It's
was
so
like
weird, yeah.
I knew
It's
Cam
small
was
world,
watching
man.
it. Like we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about it before. But like just for him to be like, dude, it's great. Like it's super
Yeah.
entertaining. Love you
It's
guys.
just
and
such
stuff.
a
It's
weirdly
awesome. So
small
Cam,
world. So.
It
I
is.
appreciate that, man. That's what I really needed to hear yesterday.
And I'll try to make sure
just,
that
you know.
this one here tags Bryn too, so anybody interested can see her monster of a mom
Yeah.
mobile.
I will. I will for
Definitely.
sure tag her.
It's what I strive for in my dad mobile, but she's on that built level, built transmission.
awesome.
Like I'm actually talking to her about the new clutch system for my 10-speed transmission.
Nice.
So she knows what the hell she's doing.
Yeah. But we have to try to get Bryn and Mike on here.
We
one day.
probably to get the two of them, we'd probably have to end up taking a trip to Orlando, which
I'm
obviously
kind of-
I'm
we're
sure
not
they've got a
opposed to.
laptop. They
I'm
can probably
kind of-
jump on.
We can probably do virtual, but I wouldn't mind going to an Orlando trip because I can probably get somebody very interesting on the podcast.
All right.
That might be one of those things to work with, a little HQ people. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I can probably get in contact with my buddy Edwin, and he would probably
Can
jump
we get
on
him
it.
and his boys to roll out with a bunch of the right-hand drive
Yes,
JDM imports?
yes,
Like, that'd be fun.
all of the JDM imports, except for Blian. I wish that he was here stateside.
He's still in Japan, isn't he?
He's still in Japan, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Cam, first off, thank you for being a supporter of us, and communicate with this guy over here because we definitely want to have you on the podcast.
I said the same
yeah.
thing to him yesterday.
Did
I was
you?
like, dude,
Okay,
you're more than
cool.
welcome to come on, man. Let's,
Cool,
let's
hell
chat.
yeah.
Why not?
Communicate with him. We'll kind of coordinate and we'll have you on the podcast. But yeah, let us know if you guys like this format because I feel like this is actually a better flow where we're just like drinking and kind of giving our inputs like live.
To Nick's point, I think it definitely helps that we're in person, so we
yeah.
can kind of vibe on what it is that we're
Literally,
drinking at the time.
the
but-
wives have talked about this for years, that together we should just have a camera that follows us around.
my God,
We
dude.
could get into some stupid
true.
shenanigans, even as we've grown
Dude,
and aged.
I want to say that this started like when we first started hanging out at Fort Myers Brewing Company.
Yeah.
And it was more along the lines of like
I think even
just
before that, I mean, that was just one of the gathering spots. But
just-
then,
But
then it just transpired.
that-
We have now, as of this past year, we've been hanging out since, because we bought our Speed 3, which is how we met, in October of 2013. So I moved here 2013. We bought it at the end of the year. So and it was that December you guys had a cookout that we met.
Yeah,
so
in
we
Sanibel.
have truly now been hanging out and close since December-ish of 2013.
10,
We're
so
running
10
on-
plus years?
We're 10 plus years now at this point.
Hell
See,
yeah.
I thought it was
dude.
longer for some reason. It
It's
feels
insane.
feels like forever.
I feel like at this
Because
point-
my goofy ass got the hell out of
not to
train
be
wreck
all
in New
sentimental,
Jersey.
but it's
Yeah.
best friends kind of are
Yeah.
a thing. But it just feels like we've known each other for. I know I've known you a little bit longer. but,
yeah,
like,
just a
'cause it was
little bit.
around the
It
same.
was like a
maybe
couple
like
months.
11 years.
on the
Couple
same line,
months.
like it's weird, right? When we first started hanging out, like Carmelo wasn't a big part of it.
He was.
In the
And
beginning,
then, like, I was hanging out with you guys more. Mike was my best man at my wedding after all was said and done. Like,
He was.
because we hung out so much. And then I got close to Eric shortly after that. And then Carmelo kind of came back into the mix, and where we had not always as close. We got even closer afterwards. We were working out together. Like it's been this weird whirlwind of things that brought us all closer.
We all got different
every
career
year.
paths. We all got different lives.
That's what I mean. That's what makes it
like,
so weird. And somehow through cars.
Yet all
and
3 of our
booze
second
and the
children
women,
are all born within a month and a half of each other. So that was kind of a wild,
literally less,
wild.
Because Emmett was born first, and then Gabby, and then
Brody.
you guys. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah,
all 3 of our
it's
seconds were
wild.
within 2 weeks. To the day. It was like Friday, I think it was. It was like, it was all planned deliveries and stuff.
That's
so,
crazy.
You know, maybe that's because the women were hanging out and the cycles got together. I don't know.
I don't know.
Possibly.
But, yeah, it's funny that our first child is a year.
It's a stair step.
A year and a year. And the second children for each were all within a 2 week period.
Yeah,
Pretty wild.
And then we have Uncle Eric that spoils all of them and makes sure they get gifts every year for their birthdays.
Yeah.
So he was the smart. All right, I'm not gonna say it. The financially responsible one.
Yeah, that's
I
more accurate.
wouldn't exactly say financially responsible because I own a Corvette and those shits are expensive to upkeep.
Children are more expensive. I promise.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Anyways,
yeah.
make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so we can do more crazy shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no. So
Well, I know we had planned on kind of segueing the Miami Concours. You know, there's some similar vehicles there that we're going to segue into our next topic, which is Koenigsegg calling out Bugatti,
yes,
which is a pretty common occurrence.
It's very tit for tat, back and forth.
So-
And I love it.
Yeah.
I cannot afford either of these cars, but I can appreciate.
but we can live through their chaos.
Oh my god! Well, and it's so petty, but I
don't
love
think
it so much.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's petty, but for multi-million-dollar cars. It's great.
I don't think it's petty.
I think it is.
What I
but
think
am
it is.
for it. You know
look,
what?
okay. First off,
Look, we shit talk all the time, but
Yeah.
for manufacturers of multi-million-dollar cars, shit talk, that's a whole nother level, man. That's
okay,
Yeah.
it is. But here's the thing.
Yeah, we knock on you for the vet, me for the Porsche, you for fixing the AC
I have
in the
a
Miata
Hyundai.
and selling it to buy your vet
Hairdresser.
you really want.
I know.
Hairdresser.
There is nothing wrong
I think
with
I'm gonna
a
let
Hyundai.
you roll around in a
Again,
Hyundai. Yeah, I'm rolling around in a
Nothing
Hyundai.
wrong with a Hyundai. I spent enough years with that company.
That's true, man.
Nothing
They have
wrong.
come a long way.
And we
That's a
live
whole
now the
other.
Genesis line.
What's
Yeah,
his
we can
name?
go.
Sung. What's his name?
Sun Kang.
Assassin.
Yeah,
Kang?
Sun Kang.
Yeah.
So he has his own podcast. We would love to have you on ours, and
That
vice
would be
versa.
awesome.
Or vice versa.
And you gotta throw it out there. The saddest moment in the movie ever, as much as we love Brian, is when the idea that Han dies. I mean,
Dude,
that's
man,
sad.
that
Han
was
died, man.
So
I think I'm
we
gonna
got a
let you
soft
roll
spot
around in a Hyundai.
for Han and Mr. Kang, the actual man. But
Yes.
because he drives, he is a car guy, much
Yes.
like Paul
Oh,
Walker,
yeah.
and drives some badass shit.
Oh yeah. Well, and so here's the crazy thing. So
Like,
he was
he is the Asian Paul Walker, basically.
He is, but here's a crazy
As
thing.
we
so,
know him in movies.
Yeah, so he was on Fast and the Furious, and in his podcast, and don't hate me, I want to say that the podcast that he has is called Car Stories. He is on it with somebody else that is a huge influencer, and she was in Cars, which is Amelia Hartford in Gran
Oh,
Turismo.
yeah.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so she was
I didn't even know this.
she
That's
was
awesome.
she was the chick with the pink hair.
Right.
So
okay.
I follow her and I watch all of her videos. Shout out to Amelia Hartford.
Yeah.
You're
and she did great in Gran Turismo, and that
She
that
did.
probably will be the launch of her actress career, truly
Yeah.
in a mainstream way.
Oh
Like,
yeah, she did a phenomenal job. But
Yeah.
like,
That movie
if
was
you
good.
see,
I want to watch that movie again. It
yeah,
was-
I
it was really
I
good.
do too. Like, I need to watch it. I don't know what
we
streaming
just
service
watched
is
it the other
on.
day, like because Chelsea had.
What is it on?
So we
HBO Max or Peacock?
honestly, I don't remember. I paid
Shit.
for so much stuff at this point. I've lost track, but. Because we got rid of cable, but yeah, we watched it the other day, and Chelsea was like watching
Cable's
it, and was,
overrated.
like, so engaged in it because I kept telling her how good it was, and she was just like
Yeah.
sucked into the TV, like she really enjoyed it. So.
It was really good. Very dramatic, but you know,
Yeah.
at the same time, engaging.
Yes,
To say the least.
But I have to admit that like Amelia Hartford, she is a very very like I've been watching her before she came out of the movie, maybe right around the time when they did the filming of Gran Turismo, but. She is a really, really good content creator. Like she is like huge into like making content for like her channel, and she has these crazy ass fucking builds. Like she has like I might butcher this. I'm sorry, Amelia, but she might have like a Chevelle that she's building right now. With
Chevelle. All right.
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
That's from one of the Fast and Furious as well. Which one?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna butcher this.
No, mine was the Charger with the mid.
Yeah, it was a Charger. No, actually, maybe she has a Charger. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna butcher this because like
They had that mid-engine one for one of them.
It was
9. With the magnet system in it in the mid-engine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just saw Well, we're going on a tangent here, but I just saw like Fast X.
My kids bought that on Amazon
I stopped
Prime.
watching,
I
man.
still haven't watched it.
I
own it.
Dude,
and
I
still
haven't.
watched it. I
I'm
I
not gonna
sto-
lie.
I
I mean,
stopped watching
we
Face to
might
Face.
get some hate for this, but I gave up after like 7. I feel like
yeah.
maybe it's just
At the
like
point
they're
where
like going in space now.
And
like,
that's
it's
exactly
like,
the point. At the
come
point
on,
once they
dude.
launch a car into space,
Come on.
I was kind of getting a little weird. I mean, even dragging the safe through roads and stuff like that with the magnet.
It was
system
excessive. I mean, it was
Yeah.
still very
Yeah.
entertaining at that point, but then it just got.
and don't get me wrong.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've gotten the same way with a lot
as
of
an
different
actor,
TV,
I've done the
series
same
and
thing.
stuff.
My
Like,
wife, as an actor, I love Vin Diesel. Dude,
I do too.
His acting, like Find Me Guilty, which is so off from what you're used to with him. Or what's the one action sci-fi one?
Riddick. Chronicles
And
of
there's another
Riddick.
one
Yeah,
called-
that was a good
that was a
movie.
badass movie.
movies,
Yeah.
but the continuation of this, which will never get anywhere. But if Vin Diesel has anything to say about this to us, hey, come at us, bro. We'll talk to you. I happily will talk to you.
Beating a dead horse.
You're an
Yes.
icon to us in terms of a lot
Yes,
of things. But as
absolutely.
this goes on, it's getting kind of crazy. It's kind of like when Paul died, it just became less about the cars. They were so pure in a JDM modified kind of fashion that you just loved in the street racing.
Well, and
thing,
it was
they've
very
gotten-
family oriented, and there's a lot of memes,
Yeah, well, I was going to say they don't than that, but yes.
But there's
as
you
Paul
know
Walker
it
passed, I
did
think it got a little more extreme.
that probably had to hurt the cast as well. I mean that was a
yeah.
huge
Mentally,
that absolutely
that will. They were so
devastated
close. That
the
will
cast.
mentally mess you. I mean, dude.
So,
if
I think-
I'd be lying about that and shed a tear or two when I heard he passed. Like that was just like
Yeah.
devastating.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, it was. It was crazy.
one of your icons. And in the
Absolutely.
beginning, his early parts, the acting wasn't great. But then you got to know more about him. He got better in his acting. You heard
yeah.
about the charities and stuff he did. Just a great guy. Like it was one of those losses that was truly a detriment to the car enthusiast community as well,
Well,
as
it is.
the movie
To me,
but-
it is very reminiscent of like Ken Block recently.
Oh yeah,
It is, yeah.
absolutely.
Same
You
situation.
lose one of those, but the
it is an
difference
absolute
is-
icon of the.
The difference is Ken Block left behind Leah, who is doing some crazy
Yeah, that's
shit.
true.
Dude. Okay,
Some
I
crazy
have
shit.
to ask you guys, did you see her actually doing like
She just qualified for like a license too, didn't she? In something.
no, actually
For rally?
she
I mean,
no
she's
No,
already got-
so
F1
she
stuff.
actually
Formula
got
stuff.
Really?
she
Yeah.
got
I didn't know
picked
that.
up- Williams, I think it was that she got
I
picked
don't know.
up
I
by
just saw
Williams
pictures.
F1.
I just saw a picture of her in a Formula car the other day, like that kind of halo look. That
Yeah,
that
the
center
halo.
post. She was set up in one of those and doing some like runs and stuff. And
No kidding.
yeah,
she's in the Williams Academy, I think. Don't
That's what it was. That's what it was.
don't
She
quote
was-
me on this. I think it's Williams. I think.
Yeah, but that's what it was. She was in a racing academy doing her training
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, so.
But aside from that,
So
did
he
you-
left. He left a physical legacy that
Yeah.
will carry on his skills and probably be better.
Dog drool.
As crazy as that, I know, dude.
Yeah.
As crazy as that
Oh
sounds.
my god, dude! What the hell?
Oh, he's bad.
God, that's
Slobber.
As crazy as it is, Leah
I need a napkin.
might be able
Excuse me, guys.
to. Leah might be able to surpass.
I'm not gonna lie. Drinking Maker's neat is way harsher than anything else that we've been drinking.
Well, and
neat.
this is supposed to be the one of the liquor store I was at when I bought 2 other bottles, and the husband of the wife that's really kind of takes.
Oh, is that not regular Maker's?
No, it's the number 46, so it's aged a little bit longer in specifically French oak.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the normal
Yeah,
one I
it's
don't know
got
what it is,
some,
but this is like the Bill's recipe, number 46.
Oh my God, it's got some.
That is a lot
busy.
of dog
He kind of
drool.
talked me into it because I was there buying my Toki Japanese whiskey.
Oh, that was the day that you.
Are
But
we gonna
okay.
unpause?
That's
Huh?
a view.
We did a hard pause.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
keep an
so-
eye, keep
I was
an eye
gonna-
out for that in the end.
I was just gonna roll with it. Anyways,
Back to
but
it.
did you guys see the video that Leah did when she drove the Huna Pegasus?
Oh, the Pikes Peak run.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Dude, that
she
was
is
so-
what?
No,
she
16,
has,
maybe
like,
17
fucking
now.
She's
Party.
got some like actual talent.
She
And it's-
truly physically is almost built for this. Like she.
Oh, yeah.
She. You could teach. It is one. I'm in the carpet.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, great job on her part too,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's not an easy
Yeah.
thing to do. Especially, can you imagine a 16-year-old girl I've got an 8-year-old, and like she's gonna be there
Yeah.
sooner than later. But like to choose going down the automotive racing path, that's not the easiest thing in the world. She's in a very probably a very dramatic time of her life. That's,
Probably.
Yeah.
But like that was like my
amazing.
daughter does the same thing right now with me. My daughter's 6.5, and all she keeps asking is when the go-kart place is going to open again that does the racing carts that got
That's
shut down
awesome.
by Hurricane Ian. So she keeps asking when we can do the go-karts together, and she can't wait to be able to watch. By the time they open end of this year, she'll be 48 inches tall. She'll be able to actually do the junior cars by herself, and I cannot wait to buy her first helmet.
Yeah.
Absolutely cannot wait.
Wait. So are you gonna buy her first helmet where you got your helmet? That would be kind of cool.
Probably. What was that
At
Wine
Sebring?
Country Motorsports?
Yes.
Yeah.
At Sebring.
That was one of the places I'd probably try and size her and then order from them.
Yeah.
'Cause what did we get? I got a Simpson? No. What the hell did I get? I've lost track now. I don't know.
Simpson.
Samson? I don't know. Whatever.
Simpson.
Whatever the hell I got it.
Oh, Bell
it's
Raceworks.
I think it's
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't Bell? I can't remember what.
I don't know. Either way, it's the most recent certification.
I've got
It's
Eric's
comfortable.
hand-me-down helmet, so
It's comfortable as hell, but
I
I can't
have
wait
a-
to buy her first helmet and get her racing with me.
Oh my god, I can't remember the brand that I have.
I keep telling my
They
wife
have
too. The
new
next time I
helmets
buy a toy car, she has no choice. I will take a Saturday off, and I'm forcing her to novice school at the autocross.
Oh hell yeah.
And she's not turning it down, but now we no longer have the vehicle. Now the Genesis sold, which the other day I took her by that Focus ST that we took in on trade. And the first thing she said was, "It's fucking ugly.
It's still
Please
for sale?"
Do not buy that." No, it sold yesterday or the day before. Actually, it's going to Tampa area. So we trail it up there, and guys are going to use it as a race car.
Your G70?
Oh, do you
No,
remember
no,
my
no, the
you
ST that I was
remember my
okay.
work associate that I told you about with the Camaro 1SS
Yeah,
1LE?
yeah.
Sold in 3 days.
Not surprised.
Keep talking.
Not surprised at all.
3 days.
yeah, no, it's-
I caught up with him at work earlier this week.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I saw your car was for sale. He was like, it was. I was like, no
That
way.
fast, huh?
Oh my god, dude, it gobbled up.
Yeah, no.
And it was like that crazy bright green
I know.
color.
That's like right up
one
my
LE
alley.
package. It
was the
absolutely
Synergy
badass
green,
car.
probably. That's what the OG
Yeah.
green was back when they first came out. The Synergy
Yeah.
green.
And I think when he bought it, it had an aftermarket exhaust on it. It was a
one of
nice
my
Camaro.
sales guys is having a problem right now with his 20 or 21 SS. He's gonna have to
Having a
go
problem
back.
with
okay.
it. He doesn't send it hard enough. Is that what it is? Or he
No,
sent it too hard.
He had the front windshield tinted, and when he got it back, they think they got too much water behind his dashboard, which is surprising because
Wait.
it's
Yeah,
a reputable
it's-
local shop, and they think
Oh, when they tinted it?
yeah, and 'cause he did the windshield like I do on mine too, but
I don't tint my
it
windshields.
was throwing some codes
Pussy.
and stuff like that.
Perfect example.
His is a bit of a weird one.
I
But
like visibility too.
again, this was I'm not gonna say the name, but this is a reputable shop, and they were like, like it's
Question:
happened once
Is
or
it
twice.
is
but
it the one where me and Mike
It
go
is
to?
not.
Okay.
It is
Oh,
not.
man,
It's
they're
a reputable.
fucking
It's a reputable shop that
great.
we've used as a dealership, so I'm not going to say their name because I've seen their work. I truly think this is a fluke. I truly don't think it was actually that. I think some of the water may have caused a little bit of an issue, but he's also, now that we've dried it out, he's throwing 2 codes: a misfire code and a rough idle start code. So we're
Those
trying
don't
to narrow
sound
down.
like-
That's what I'm saying.
Those
So
don't sound like electrical.
way more was popping up prior to. And I think
I was
once
gonna
you
say,
dry
that
it out, it was
sounds
no
more
big. I had the same problem with my 7 Series. I got a
Actually-
leaky sunroof that hit water on
Oh, you had the
uh,
same problems with
AC,
your BMW, which is notoriously faulty on
in
the
sense
electrical
of
side for like
getting
everything.
unnecessary water behind the dashboard. In that sense, so we're working through that now. We did 1 bank of his spark plugs because they're easy to reach, and that didn't fix the issue because a couple of them that we pulled yesterday looked a little funky. So we replaced those. He's gonna now at this point probably just trailer it to Chevy because it's 3 years old. Should be under factory warranty. It's only got 25,000 miles.
Oh, well,
And
I would have
let
done
them
that.
deal with
I would
it.
have done that from the get go.
Well, for
I wouldn't have told him
$40,
about the
we
windshield.
figured we'd swap
Yeah.
some spark plugs and see if we could get the
God,
trip-
that's
the
all
trip
the
thing.
spark plugs cost. Jeez, man.
Yeah, they're and oddly enough they're iridiums, but they're OE AC Delta iridiums.
Why are
nothing
NGKs
crazy.
so expensive? Why? Why are they
I sold my
$30 a
Genesis
piece?
with
Why?
all 4 of them in there.
It's
I
a
should
spark plug.
If I thought about this,
come on, man.
if I thought about it, I would have yanked mine and given them to you when I pulled them because they only had
Dude,
like
I'll tell you
5,000
what.
miles on them. I
Wait,
didn't
did you
think
buy
about
yours
it.
yet?
I haven't.
We
I've been,
can
I've
get on
been,
it.
dude. I've been
Get on it.
dragging. I
Get
know.
on
I've got
it.
the,
We
I've
get
got
on
the,
it.
the
We
JB4.
just
I,
did not
it's
get
all.
it. I know. I gave you a JB4 with all the wires necessary,
I know.
4-wheel engine.
Yeah.
Also,
For my 2.0 to your
and I'm not
1.6.
gonna lie. I don't want to. Maybe I should knock on some wood here. My clutch was slipping the other day, and it's a DCT.
Well, hey, good news. You got a 10-year, 100,000-mile
I
warranty.
do, so I've been sending it a little bit harder than I should be a lot lately, just hoping that maybe it'll do it again, and then I'll be like, all right, new transmission before I put the JB4 in.
And with that being said, let's get back on topic in regards to Koenigsegg and Bugatti running.
Yes, that's right.
So,
anyway, Eric,
God, we've been running
was,
for like 20 minutes.
What was the beef?
I don't know, but honestly, I feel like back on topic. I don't think that it's anything that's petty. I just feel like it's just I love this dude based off of what I've seen social media wise, but Christian von Koenigsegg, which obviously by his name you guys can tell, he is the president and CEO of Koenigsegg.
Loves NA Miatas, just saying.
And he loves NA Miatas. Wait, does he have an NA1?
1.6 NA.
He did have it, yeah.
NA1.
NA6, or yes.
Oh, NA6. NA1
There's
or
an NA6 and an NA 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has an NA6. I love this dude, and I feel like he is just a troll. Because,
I know, it's fucking great. I love it.
I do, because I feel like anytime that Bugatti, and here's the thing, nothing against Bugatti at all. Like, your cars are gorgeous. Like, yeah, we talked about, like the Veyrons and the Chirons.
Something about a quad turbo W16.
Yeah, the
great.
Devo is probably by far one of the most eye-catching and beautiful vehicles that I've seen in person. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's 100% gorgeous. Especially with that exposed carbon one and blue one that was down at the Miami Concours. That thing was gorgeous. But Christian von Koenigsegg, he is a troll because he wants to, and I don't feel like he has anything against Bugatti. I just feel like it's just more along the lines of like, I want to show you what my cars can do against Bugatti, because you guys, like, we all watch Top Gear. We all watch the Grand Tour, which is with the original trio. Bugatti was shown to be the pinnacle manufacturer for performance, for hypercars. And I feel like he wants to show that his brand is equally, if not better, than Bugatti, which honestly I'm not against, because any record that Bugatti shows that they have broken, Christian von Koenigsegg legit says, "Hold my beer." And does the exact same thing in a better time.
I think the beautiful thing behind that is, like, for one, he stands behind his product, but also at the same time, he is a mad genius.
He is.
He also is making one of the doesn't he have one of the smallest displacement engines now, that they're working on?
Are you talking about the Gamara?
It's like the smallest displacement but highest horsepower. It's like a 1.6 liter, and it makes like 600 horsepower or something. I could be wrong on those numbers.
But they're doing similar to what Chevy just did with the Z06, with flying a smaller than normal displacement V8, producing more power than ever produced.
It's insane.
The thing I love about this, and you gotta remember, I've always been an Audi fan. Even though I've ordered a 25 ST, at any given point, if the correct RS6 pops up, I'm buying it. I will
do it.
I will eat the interest rate and refi later, but if the perfect one pops up, I will buy it. Unfortunately, the colors I like that are perfect to me are individual or paint sample colors, so the odds are slim. But that being said, the reason I bring that up is I'm an Audi fan. I like my Audis. I've had good luck with them. Of all the German cars I've owned, my two Audis were the least of my issues. But at the end of the day, Bugatti is an Audi, right? And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you got to remember, Koenigsegg is bespoke. They build everything in-house. It is all of them. There is no sharing an engine and just simply welding a couple engines together to come up with the W16. I mean, they were the ones that came up with, I don't know if they truly came up, but they were the first ones to come up with, or to implement, I think, as far as I know, this could be false, but implement the hydraulic lifter systems that aren't push rod driven or whatnot, that are individually hydraulically actuated. I mean, Christian von Koenigsegg and his team of engineers do some wild shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of mad scientist shit, which for them to be able to keep up with somebody with
Audi money,
Volkswagen Auto Group money, VAG money, VAG money, whatever you want to call it, like VAG is the largest automotive group in the world.
It is, yeah. With
more money than anybody. So for them to keep up with Bugatti, who's taking technology from Audi and Volkswagen and Bentley, I mean, they own all these things now. Seat, like all these companies, like they have anything open to them. For Koenigsegg to be able to compete with them and beat them is
mind blowing.
Insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. From a company who's owned by nobody, who has deep pockets from nobody, purely on what they've built, as far as I know.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is.
Even if they don't beat Bugatti at some point, even if Bugatti says, we got you, Koenigsegg is still more impressive to me.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that.
Because of what little they started with and what they've
Oh,
built.
yeah, 100%.
So to me, that is the an epic hypercar.
Yeah.
For sure.
Purely because they are truly bespoke and it is them and just them. They have no support.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something right there.
Yeah. So that's why, like, for me,
Christian, keep it up.
and I feel like
Good work.
you are on board with this, but you and I are on the Go Squad side.
The who what?
Go Squad.
You throw
Ghost?
that term around a lot.
Go
and
Squad.
I know.
Okay, so with Koenigsegg, so the factory that they're in, it used to be like an old like Air Force like actual like warehouse.
Okay.
So the guys, and I might have some of my information may not be accurate, but as far as I'm aware, that the organization or the people that were building the fighter jets for the Air Force, like wherever he's at, was the Ghost Squad. So that's why he implemented, like, that's why every Koenigsegg has a ghost icon in the center console, like up above, like between the seats.
I never even knew
Dude,
that.
if you look it up, every single one would have that ghost icon on it. So
That's
that's why like Koenigsegg, it's considered the Ghost Squad.
Like, given the money, I'd buy a Koenigsegg over
100%. I agree with that. Fact.
because I brought this up earlier in the podcast. To me, Bugatti is a very expensive Grand Tour. I don't know. That's how I look at them.
Yeah.
Versus Koenigsegg being a very comfortable race car.
Yes.
Much similar, and this now modern wise, this is a little bit
That's a good analogy.
incorrect. But when I was growing up, my dad was in the car business. He still is. He always told me, and again, I grew up in an Italian household, but he always told me, we love Italian cars. Ferrari was the Italian race car. Lamborghini was simply the Italian sports car. That was always his kind of thing. Was like, you wanted a comfortable car, you bought a Lamborghini. You wanted a car with race car heritage, you bought a Ferrari. Now, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so that's changed significantly.
I was going to say, Lamborghini.
Changed significantly. But my point to this is because I think Bugatti's fallen into that comfortable sports car thing.
Yeah.
Where Koenigsegg is a fucking race car. And I think on a track, it would smoke one of these. I mean, your top speed thing, that's cool. Who's got the bigger balls? Let's have a measuring contest. Whatever. That's cool. But I guarantee you throw the fastest Bugatti and the fastest Koenigsegg on a track, and that Koenigsegg is going to eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
I agree.
demolish it.
I agree.
That's what I think. I could be so wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen two of them run balls to the wall together on a track, as far as I know.
We might see them pretty soon. I hope so.
I don't know.
I really hope.
And that's why I love
Bugatti
this call
takes that
out.
challenge.
I love this call out, and I'm tired of the top speed straight line for 2 mile tracks.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see these guys on a big boy hit the Nürburgring together. Let's go.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's other manufacturers that like to play in this ball game, too. I mean, look at Hennessy.
Well, again, Pagani. We bring up Pagani. Hennessy with the Venom GT. That thing is an absolutely insane monster.
And I understand why this like chase for top speed exists.
I guarantee you,
get
too,
it.
when the new Corvette 01 comes out, it's going to want to play in this game, too.
Dude, the C8 in general is just like demolishing things. But I understand. I understand why this chase exists. But to your point, Bugatti's got a lot of money behind it. There's a lot of
Yeah.
how do we put it? There's a lot of pocket change.
To our point, we like autocross and we like racetracks. We're not drag racers.
No.
Yeah.
I want to take my Explorer to the drag track.
I
because it's a
get
fucking
going
SUV.
fast,
What the hell
but,
am I
like,
going to
yeah,
do with a curve?
I
I can straight line my Explorer. That's about it, relatively. Yeah. But outside of that, like curves, sharp turns, speed, that impresses us. Straight line speed, I mean, I can save money and I can go buy a funny car and still be the Bugatti. So
That's true. Actually.
at the end of the day, I can run a pure alcohol running race car and a funny car for way less than I can get a Bugatti and smoke it in a quarter mile. So to me, that doesn't impress me. What you can do on a track impresses me.
Yeah.
I can go buy an aftermarket Yenko modified Camaro and probably beat a Bugatti in this quarter mile for six figures as opposed
Yanko
to seven figures.
Yanko Camaros, don't get me started on that tangent. That's a whole other.
We recently talked about these cars, but you can probably get a GTR, a Nissan GTR, put an Alpha kit on it.
I'm glad you bring that up because I'm literally looking at my phone right now, and a guy that I enjoy watching his videos, what is it, Righties Rides? He does a lot of these things, and he likes these clickbaity titles.
Okay.
And someone might look at it, I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? And he literally just hit one up on my home screen. It says, is the Nissan GTR a better all-wheel drive performance car than the 2024 C8 Corvette E-Ray?
Oh.
I don't like
so
I don't like it already.
This is one of those where
we're not going to get into that right now.
Comparable, right? But this is kind of my point. Putting two cars that aren't really comparable together in a class, and I only bring it up because I was going to kind of call this out in some of his clickbait stuff. I love his content. He does some great reviews. But this is a kind of a similar thing. Oh, I can go faster in a straight line. I can do this. Well, which one do you use the actual race car? Race cars don't go straight. Drag cars go straight. Race cars turn. So that's kind of my point to that whole thing. In that particular question, I hate to say it. I'm going to say the GTR because I don't like E-Rays because I don't like the idea of electric. Now, with the hybrid, that's one thing. Hey. Dumbass. Again, brain dead Bernie's Mountain Dog. Gryffindor.
Yep. I don't know. I've yet to look at an E-Ray and be impressed. They look great.
What are your thoughts?
On the E-Ray?
No. Your thoughts on Bugatti versus Koenigsegg?
Oh, okay. So I agree with Nick. I'm gonna go Koenigsegg.
So are we all Go Squad?
Yeah. I guess
cool.
we are.
Which is funny.
I mean, I just
ghost mounts for my
I'm a support.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a support the little guy. I mean, and Koenigsegg is a little guy compared to Bugatti. I mean, it's
I
just.
feel like that's
how it
a
is.
really big little guy.
It's a really big little guy. A very impressive little guy.
But when you compare it to what is VAG,
Yeah.
as the parent,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's
100%.
It's absolutely nothing
But
to them.
love the rivalry. Keep it up.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, don't be bitches. Actually compete. Actually push each other. Because that's when we get better, and it's no different from what I've talked about this before. With
Competition.
I'm with Ford. The Bronco will only make the Wrangler better. As much as I think the Bronco is a superior vehicle to the Wrangler, at this point, for comfort and for overall usability, Wrangler hasn't had any competition. Bronco's not going to push it. Koenigsegg is that pusher for Bugatti, and vice versa. And that's what I love to see. I love to see manufacturers, whether they're my favorite or whatever you want to say, or they're my preferred over the other. I just love seeing them push each other because all it ends up doing. Now, in Bugatti versus Koenigsegg, it creates more expensive cars that we can't afford, whatever the case may be. In lower levels from your modern manufacturers, your common manufacturers, it pushes the competition where it allows us to get more fun cars for relatively better budgets.
Right.
So it's there's two sides to this whole thing, for our purposes, I like the lower guys pushing each other to be better.
Yeah.
And we talk about the Hyundai N's and stuff like that. Versus like the Nissan Zs and the Nismos, and you've got these ones that are more affordable, more attainable, that are pushing each other. But I like to see from every level, whether it's a $30,000 Hyundai or a $2 to $3 million Pagani, Koenigsegg, or Bugatti. I just want to see them push the boundaries together and compete because it just makes all of us better spectators. I don't know.
For sure.
Enjoy it more, for sure.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And on that bombshell, that's all the time that we have here for today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you for all of our subscribers. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Stay tuned for additional content. Like I said, my Miami Concours video is going to be uploaded within the next couple of days. And so will this podcast. And aside from that, make sure you hit the road responsibly and savor your brews. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers to booze and cars, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.